with toys I wanted as a child. What is this, episode 28 now? Wow. Anyhow, um, so I thought today I would talk about something near and dear to my heart, which I guess all this stuff is near and dear to my heart. But this is something that I can remember from the time I was 4 years old. In 1976, and it just, wow, it makes me feel so old. Uh, I picked this up the other day. King Kong, 1976, came out in theaters. It was December of 76. And the Steelbook is the 50th anniversary edition, which I thought was very cool, and I had to make sure that I purchased. Even though I have different copies of this. But I love this movie so much, and still do to this day. It was just a great movie, and I mean, all Kong movies are great. I mean, even from the ones back in the 30s, I think it was the 30s, and then you know, Son of Kong, and all those black and whites. Those are all great, and up to the new ones. The new ones are amazing. I think that the newer ones went more fantasy too, which is cool, and they kind of combine the Godzilla thing, which is awesome. But anyway, I picked this up, and then I started thinking, wow, I was 4 years old when this came out, and how much I loved it. And I was 4 going on 5, because in February I would have been 5, but this was December, so I was 4 years old. And there's pictures of me that Christmas with, actually, this toy, which I've talked about before. This is from Mego, one of the greatest toys ever, ever. And it came with a building that was much taller, cardboard, but I don't have that. But this is so hard to find. And when I talked about this before, years ago, friends of mine, one in particular was like, I never even knew that existed, like comments in the sections. And then at toy shows, they're like, I had no idea that that was even something. And I've still been looking for, there was a jet with a yellow dart at the end, like a rubber rounded dart, kind of like the Micronauts. And you would shoot, and if you could hit Kong and these things, and then if you shot here, he would fall off of the building, which was so cool. I mean, I love this so much. And my cousin said to me, he was like, I think you got that the year at Grandma's where they, didn't get us the same thing, which I kind of disputed, but now I kind of wonder, because I had this at my grandmother's that time, but I don't know. But anyway, so much stuff came out with this film, and there's some things that I had and some things that I really wanted and I have now. But we'll start with this. This mask. And I don't remember having the whole costume. I just remember having this mask, which looks so much. I mean, if you look at the cover of this or of the glasses, they did this mask to make it look so much like this artwork, which I love this artwork. It is incredible. And I love this mask, and I still love this mask. That's why it's in my collection, and it sits on a shelf. And this mask, I actually have a photo of. It's a Polaroid, believe it or not, like the real Polaroids. When a friend of mine from childhood, who's still a friend of mine today, he was dressed up like a Cylon from Battlestar Galactica. I don't know how that fit in with the haunted house that my older sisters were having, but he had that on, and I had this mask. And back in the 70s, like all the girls, at least in my family, got, and I think it was a big trend, they got these rabbit fur coats, and they were like, I mean, you look at any 70s, just look back and you can see it was like suede and rabbit's fur. And I had that rabbit's fur coat on, which had white and black fur on it. And then I put this mask on for the haunted house. And we had like frozen grapes as eyeballs, spaghetti. That was back when you'd make, we just really made it up so great. And I was, in our basement, there was a basement door that was like a cellar door, so it opened from the top, and then the steps went up, so it looked like a little cage, and I just put a cage in front of there. It was a little, but I love King Kong so much. And then, okay, so these glasses, I might have had one when I was a kid, but they had a whole set with this amazing artwork, and they were available at not Burger King, folks, Burger Chef. Burger Chef, which the mascots were Burger Chef and Jeff. There was a bigger guy and a skinny guy, and kind of like Laurel and Hardy, and that was their whole gimmick. And I like I said, I think I might have had one, but I know that I wanted them all, and I found these one time at an antique store, and my wife and I were in an antique store, and I was like, oh my gosh. And they weren't that expensive. I think the price tags are still on here. Yeah, I paid $3 a piece for these glasses, which they're a lot more than that now. But I left those price tags on there just because of that. But I mean, they had the snake one, and I think this was just the subway one. No, this was when he was breaking down the gate on Skull Island, and then the Empire State Building, the famous Empire State Building shot, and then here's the subway. Oh, I guess there wasn't a snake one. I thought that was a snake one. No, that's the snake one right here. Yeah, he's fighting the snake right here. And then the subway one. And but anyway, so I love these glasses, and I'm so glad that I still have them. And I have one extra that I have something that I carried around until. Well, anyway, so this was a Grail piece that I got. I don't know if you can see. I gotta get close to them. Kong is inside there in the straw, and you had to. There's a piece that goes on here, and you had to suck, and the straw would suck the liquid out, and he would climb. This is the Empire State Building on both sides here, the Twin Towers, really, not Empire State Building in 70s one, but the Twin Towers, which are obviously gone, but and then Kong would as you can see, I wish there was something I could push in there, but he would climb with every drink. He would climb up, up the building, and I love this so much. I mean, so much. And this was a cheap little thing, and they're really expensive now. But I cut the Kong out of there, and I carried him around with me I mean, it's hard to believe that I don't still have it, because I carried it around with me all the time. So I always had something to play with. I put this little tiny King Kong like in my pocket, and then I would I don't know how it got love, but then again, I wasn't collecting whenever I got older, so it probably was there was a green frog toy box that I wish that I would have thought more about it before it was in our basement, before I left it there. But what a great I mean, it's so fun. It was so fun. Trying to get Kong to go up there. But then I really wanted him out of there, so I took him out, which ruined the straw. But now this one's pretty complete. And then there was like wind up Kongs. I don't know if this works or not. Let's see. Well, it sounds like it wants to. Let's see. Give it a couple more. Nope. Oh yeah. Very slow. But there he is. They have I think a Godzilla one too. I probably could wind that up a little bit more, but yeah, there's that wind up Kong. And these Kongs right here, I mean, this is the one from my childhood that has this elastic thing on there. And I used to put stuff in his mouth because it was hollow inside. And there was a little man that I put in there that was like, he was eating people or whatever. But this is, these things go for a lot now, but this is my childhood one, and it was just so fun. And this one was one that I didn't have as a child, but friends of mine found it and said, we thought maybe you'd want this. And I was like, yes, I do. I love Kong stuff. So, so there's that. And then they came out with like cereal bowls, which is super cool. Look at that. They did that a lot back then, and it was so simple, but it was so great, and it kind of matched up with these glasses. But there was also, as far as the rubber Kongs go, this one, and this was mine as a child as well, and this ended up in different toy lines as well, like my stuff, because it was just such a cool rubber figure. It was hard rubber, and he could be a bad guy. He could, people could fight against him. If Tarzan needed to fight against him or whatever. But it was Kong. And I don't think it might have been a knockoff, but it was Kong for sure, 100%. And then even little, like tiny little rubber one, which before this ring broke, I kind of hung it, but it kind of deteriorated. Just fun little thing. I think this was kind of looks like a pencil topper, but and then this was something that, I mean, remember I was 4. I carried this thing around. Now this isn't the one that I still have the one that I carried around. It's like the beans are coming out of it because the arm was ripped. But I found this one in an antique store too one time, and the tag's still on it, which is so cool. The tag is on it, and it says it's too dark in here for me to read. King Kong. Does that say King Kong Central Incorporated? Huh. And this is from Mego as well. See the Mego logo? That's so cool. So it's made by the same as this. But yeah, I would carry this thing around all the time, and now this sits over by a plant, just because it's so cool. I wish he would stand up, but he's too soft to stand up. His feet are heavy, but he just doesn't want to do that. But so cool, very cool. Mego 1976, and then like look at this. This is like a puzzle box. Now, I've never put the puzzle together, but look at the artwork on that. Wow, so awesome. This is so great. King Kong. Wow. I mean, the lore of this whole movie anyway, but it's just all the merchandise that came from this is just so fun. And now this was something I didn't want as a kid, and I'd love to take it out of there, but I don't want to mess the bag up. But it's a King Kong ring. RKO Studios. It says 1933, made in Japan 1962. So this Kong is the one from the 1933. That's so cool. But I won't take it out of that bag because clearly it came from Japan in 1962. Just something cool to put in the thing. And here's another thing that I picked up that I did not have as a kid. This is from Ideal. And they had color forms too, but I don't have that. But look at this. This is the game that pits you against the most terrifying monster of all time. King Kong by Ideal. Wow. 1976. So awesome. The artwork's, same artwork, but like, check this out. Now, of course, I've never played it, but it came with little people. You can see them in there. And the cards, I think, kind of told you what was going on. And then you would spin this, which is Kong on here too. So cool. You can see him. I don't know if you can see him, but it's King Kong on there. And then you'd spin and say move up, twist 1 or 2 to the left, twist to the right, move up 2 to 3, and then he's going up this elevator. And it's upside down. Hold on. So he's like climbing. I think he put him on here, and then he would climb up this cardboard Kong. How cool is that? Just super fun. I mean, there were so many fun things whenever, when we were kids. I think the 70s and the 80s was like the best time for toys because they just made so much stuff. And I mean, I know they do it now too, but just the quality seemed to be so great back then when they did these things. But to end this, I will show you something that that I wanted so badly. I mean, I really wanted so bad. This bank. It's a plastic blow mold bank, and it's King Kong. Now, my neighbor had one that was red, I think. I'm almost 100% sure. And it had changed all the way up. And I can remember it was in their dining room, by their dining room table. And they had the green carpet and this red Kong sitting in the corner. And I've talked about it to him since. And man, I wanted that Kong so bad. I mean, just so badly. Like I was like, I want this, and never got it. And then I ended up finding it somewhere really cheap, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And that's like the real deal. And I put this back there in the plants too, because it's just really cool. It doesn't have a plug in it, and there's a date on here, but I can't see it. But I'm sure it's 76. But yeah, just some really, really fun stuff. and I'm glad that I have it. And like I said, I love all the Kong stuff, but really, this was my jam. This original, or not original, this remake of the original um, was so fun. Jeff Bridges um, and Dwan, played by Jessica Lange, and Charles Grodin was in it. It was like great casting too, because Charles Grodin was just a jerk. They went over there for oil, and then they ended up finding Kong, and he was trying to figure out a way to make money off of that, and that's how he ended up in New York. But just such really great memories and really great movie, and I'm anxious to watch it again. This new to see if there's any extras or anything on this Steelbook, just because I loved it so much, and it's just fun, and I'm glad that I have this stuff. So this has been another episode of Toys I Wanted as a Child. I hope you enjoyed it. I did. I'm really actually reminiscing more as and thinking back as I do this one. So thank you for joining me, and until next time, I hope you enjoyed this one. Thanks. Bye bye.